Welcome to Kay's Corner. This is Kori if you're new, and I have just left physical therapy. It's been a while since I did any updates, and a lot of that has to do with well, they call it imposter syndrome, but it's always you're thinking, is there really anybody that wants to hear what I'm going through, kind of thing. But I know I would like to hear what somebody else is going through during this time. So what I've decided to do is just start doing some little random videos. When I try to plan them out, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it may be vlog type for quite some time. I did get some free grapefruit and oranges in the dehydrator this week, but it took me all week to do it. I've had two different, let me get going here, two different injections done at Pain Management. The first one was called an SI joint injection in each SI joint. That was highly uncomfortable. And bear with me here. Sorry about that. And my red nose. I got a cold going on. It did alleviate some of the pain after. The silly thing is, though, like, they do this invasive procedure on you into your joints, and then they give you like 5 minutes recovery time, and they want you to have some kind of total relief right away. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. And I hear in the next room some lady had something done on her neck, and they asked her what her pain relief was, and she's like, oh, probably a good 90%, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So they come in for me and get me up, and she's like, okay, so are you feeling any relief? And I'm like, no. And she stopped and she looked at me, she's like, no. I said, no. I said I was in pain before. I said, and basically just had cortisone injections in both of my hips from the back to the front. I said, so no, I don't have any relief yet. It's trauma to the area. And she was like, oh. I'm like, well, the one thing I'm never going to do is lie about my health. So I will say, over the next few days, it took a couple of days to feel any kind of relief. Oh, my car is acting up. My traction thing acts up because I need alignment. Which, when you're off work for any reason, the longest medical ones, sometimes an alignment is just not in the program at the moment. She still drives just fine, just has some hiccups every now and then. Sometimes if I stop and then go again, it's ridiculous. But it's real life, so I'm not going to pretend like it's not happening. So, it did give me some relief for a little bit. And then I had to reschedule the next procedure. And I don't remember what it's called that I had done. But he did 4 injections into the joint on my lower spine on each side. So I had 8 lidocaine injections last week, Tuesday. Not as uncomfortable as the SI joint injections, but not pleasant by any means. And so those were only meant to last for a couple of hours to be able to see if it would work. And then if I get up to like 80% relief, then that will, they're going to do it again next week. And if it works again, to make sure that the first time wasn't just a fluke, then they will look at doing a nerve ablation that could last up to 6 months. And I'm like, when you deal with depression anyways in your life, like, you know that pain can make it worse. So, like, I know that I don't have any outlying reasons to feel depressed. One thing though, you can take your medication just as you're supposed to, but there's always going to be a time where something happens, some kind of imbalance happens, and you're going to feel depressed, and you just have to talk yourself through it, that it will pass, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But you add new pain to the mix, and the fact that you're out of work. Thank God that I had the car insurance policy that I did, because that's what's paying my bills right now. But then I'm dealing with a pain and suffering lawsuit against the kid that pulled out in front of me, and there's paperwork for that, and I'm glad I have the lawyer for that, because I'm confident that I would have not been getting the care and the monetary compensation just from my own car insurance if I had not hired a lawyer. I know that for a fact. So he can have his percentage, because it's not coming directly out of my pocket and my bills are still paid. So, just about to pull into the chiropractor. But, it's just hard. Pain affects your depression and your anxiety. So then when your pain level goes up, your anxiety goes up. So then I'm going in for these new procedures. My anxiety level is going up, and I can't take any pain medication because, or not pain medication, anxiety medication, because I'm going to drive. And I don't drive after I've taken that kind of medication. Even though I'm used to it, I'm just not going to put myself or anyone else at risk for that. If I get to the point where I need anxiety medication, I'm going to keep my butt right at home and just snuggle with my dogs. So, all right, well, I am rambling at this point, but I have just pulled into my chiropractor. I will go see him, and I will be back. All right, that didn't take long, about 10 minutes. So this is just what it'll be like in a nutshell. When I get home, I will be taking some ibuprofen and a muscle relaxer, and just resting before going back to work on the rest of the grapefruit that I have, because I'm zesting the really pretty spots on the fruit and putting those in the dehydrator for zest. And then I'm just using a potato peeler to get the zest off, and then I'll peel it, and then I slice the fruit without the peel to go in the dehydrator, because I really don't like that. I mean, I give them a vinegar wash before I cut them or even peel the zest off, but I'm not a fan of putting the peels in there. I don't know why. I don't really have an answer for that. So I want to thank you for stopping by, and like I said, I'm just gonna do some random vlogs, and I'll keep you updated on what's going on. Once I'm home and settled and my pain level is gone, maybe to update you on what I actually thought of those procedures that I had done and what's coming up for me next. So thank you for your friendship and coming by to join me on my journey. And I'm just rambling now, so I'm just going to say thank you and God bless. Bye.